A pleasant morning to all of you, to our respective board of panels, to our advisor, and to our co-presenter. Today, we will be discussing our research we have done regarding to mathematical perception and thermodynamics performances of science major student, a correlational study. To express our views in a clearer manner, we created a special presentation that will help you to understand what our study is all about. Now, let's quickly break down the title one by one. The mathematical perception is pertaining to the respondent's attitude toward mathematics, and the thermodynamics performance is pertaining to the academic achievement or grade of the respondents and the subject of thermodynamics. These two are the main fields or the key factors of the study. On the other hand, a correlational study, this is the method that we are going to use to examine the relationship between two variables in order to come up with a new insight and conclusion about those things. So at this juncture, it is my pleasure to introduce the proponent of this study. First, we have Ms. Joyce Marie A. Ndiape, and she will be discussing the parts of Chapter 1, which includes the introduction, the statement of the problem and hypothesis, the significance of the study, and scope and the limitation. Next will be Ms. April B. Garcia. She will be discussing the content of Chapter 2, which includes the synthesis of review of related literature and studies, the theoretical framework, and conceptual framework. Next, we have Mr. Jesus C. Cabaltera, and he will be discussing the portion of Chapter 3, which includes the locale of the study, the research design, and the respondents of the study. And I am yours truly, I am John Paul B. Azumra, and I will be discussing the instrumentation, the data gathering procedures, and the treatment of data. To present the Chapter 1, I will give the floor to Ms. Joyce Marie A. Ndiape.
It is extremely important to evaluate the students' performance and identify which factors influence to their performance to decide whether or not curriculum changes or improvements are required. Teachers throughout the world are concerned about their students' thermodynamic performances and the factors that contribute to it. GUSTA 2018 claims that students struggles with thermodynamics and engineering thermodynamics. It is also popular that both high school and college students find physics difficult, especially thermodynamics. In the Philippines, some students are also having difficulties learning physics concepts. The students have an overall average difficulty in learning physics concepts. This poor performance has encouraged educational researchers throughout the world to continue looking for factors that can influence students' thermodynamic performance. In the teaching-learning process, school-related variables are critical. Many studies were already conducted regarding thermodynamics and mathematics performances of the learners. However, none of these studies have thoroughly investigated the relationship between thermodynamics performance of the students and their mathematical perception. Thus, through this study, the researcher will determine the correlation between mathematical perception and thermodynamics performance of the science major students of Western Philippines University in Aporlan, Puerto Princesa City, and Quezon campuses. And for the statement of the problem, this research has achieved concern regarding the factors affecting the thermodynamics performance of science major students. To obtain all essential knowledge, data, and information, the research seeks to answer the important questions as follows. First, what is the performance of the science major students in thermodynamics? Second, what are the mathematical perceptions of the respondent in terms of A. Confidence in mathematics, B. Importance or value of mathematics, and C. Enjoyment and motivation in mathematics. And for the third question, is there any significant relationship between the thermodynamics performance and the mathematical perceptions of the science major students? And for the hypothesis, we have a null hypothesis, which there is no significant relationship between students' mathematical perceptions and thermodynamic performance. And for the significance of the study, the findings of the study is of great importance to the society. Through this study, students may receive appropriate and relevant mathematics instructions as they may help them improve their thermodynamics performance. It will be useful for the teacher in creating lesson plans, teaching subject matters, and supporting the students to improve their understanding of mathematics in thermodynamics. The study can be significant in the area of curriculum developer, since the result will be based on the perceptions and performances of the students. It can guide them in their decision regarding the improvement of mathematics in science curriculum. It will be also useful to the future researchers who will conduct same studies about the relationship between students' mathematical perceptions and thermodynamics performance. Now let us proceed to the scope and the limitation. This study aims to determine the relationship between mathematical perceptions and thermodynamic performance of science major students at Western Philippines University in Aborlan, Puerto Princesa City, and Quezon campuses. It will be comprised of a total of 91 respondents, which is 62 third year and 29 fourth year, enrolled in the second semester of 2021 and 2022 academic year. The study period takes place from April to July 2022. To determine the relationship between the variables, researchers will provide a survey questionnaire. This questionnaire is a researcher-adapted quantitative survey questionnaire, which the respondent will respond to each question by selecting a specific answer based on the skill provided. And for the delimitation of the study, these will not include the demographic profile of the respondent in terms of their age, gender, year level, and socioeconomic background. Furthermore, their academic performance in other subjects will not be considered. To represent the Chapter 2, which is about the review of related literature, theoretical framework, and conceptual framework, let us give the floor to Ms. April May Garcia.
This chapter summarizes the gathered information from other researchers who have conducted the research on the subject of mathematical perception and thermodynamics performance. It deals with a review of related literature and studies. Mathematics is a subject that is extremely vital and crucial. Despite the importance of mathematics, students have various perceptions on the subject. Students' perception toward mathematics are linked to their attitudes for learning mathematics. In the study conducted by the Mesa and Company 2016, their findings revealed that the majority of Filipino students perceived mathematics as a difficult subject that was hard to understand. Even though the students perceived mathematics as difficult, Capuno and Company 2019 also revealed that students expressed positive attitudes of mathematics in terms of its importance, but they were neutral when it came to their self-confidence, enjoyment, and motivation in the subject. When it comes to the performances of Filipino students in thermodynamics, it was identified by Care and Company 2015 based on the report published in 2013 that the performance of Filipino pupils in national and international surveys on mathematics and science abilities lags behind surrounding countries such as Singapore, South Korea, Hong Kong, China, and Japan. It is also revealed in the study conducted by Magsabol 2020 in his study that only 19% of Filipino pupils meet the low standard, indicating that they had limited mathematical intelligence, while the remaining percentage did not even meet this label. In line with this, Orby and Company 2018 states that the students' performance was being discovered to be affected by some elements. To further understand the perception of students toward mathematics, the Odin Company 2020 on their findings stated that the students' attitudes or perceptions toward mathematics is also suspected to be a factor that affects the mathematical performances of the students. Students' attitudes and perception of mathematics are linked to their attitudes for learning mathematics. Aside from that, Hagan and Company 2020 showed that the students also have a positive attitude toward mathematics because it is crucial in their daily lives. When it comes to the performance of the students in thermodynamics, Mollop and Company 2012 suggested that in order to achieve successful thermodynamics implementation, In these courses, such as physics and chemistry, it is recommended to use teaching methods such as blended learning, active learning techniques, computer-based instruction, and virtual lab or a web-based student learning tool for thermodynamic concept. As the learners encountered this thermodynamic concept, Dukhan 2016 listed the two major classes of thermodynamics learning problems. First, students do not properly learn thermodynamics concept and principle. Second, students do not seem to recognize relevant concept and principle and combine them to solve thermodynamics problem. Based on the said studies and reviews, we can identify that physics is connected to mathematics. It is quoted from the study conducted by Kuo 2013 that physics is inextricably linked to mathematics, which provides the logical framework within which physical laws can be explicitly stated and measured. Mathematical relationships are virtually always used to express physical theories. In addition, it was explained by De Rosa 2020 that mathematics problems were effective in showing students the performance of integrating to solve the thermodynamics problem. This suggests that their ability to solve mathematical issues influence their thermodynamics performance. The performance of students in thermodynamics is highly correlated with their achievements in other courses. Lastly, Reedy and his company 2017 stated and revealed that mathematical skills and a lack of understanding the problem are the major obstacle in the domain of problem-solving skills in physics. Now, let's proceed to the discussion of theoretical framework. This study was framed by the cognitive theory of Jean Piaget, which focused on the mental processes that a learner used to receive, interpret, and retrieve information. According to this theory, individuals take in a stimulus, process it in their minds, and then act on the stimulus. These mental processes include several components. One of these is the student's perception. When interpreting, it is believed that individuals act on their belief, thoughts, knowledge, attitudes, feelings, and understanding of themselves and their surroundings. This theory also refers to the function of the individual brain, such as thinking, learning, problem-solving, and perception. According to Derry 1996 and Sparrow and Company 1992, this theory defines knowledge as a mental activity involving internal structuring by students. It was also proposed by Sobel 2001 that learning takes place under conditions that are consistent with human cognitive learning. The cognitive approach, on the other hand, is concerned with making meaningful information and assisting learners' knowledge in organizing new information to the knowledge being stored in the memory. In addition, Gestalt psychologists led to Max Widemer 1880 to 1943 held that learning is the effect or the result of good perceptions, which allows a person to form concepts in their mind. For the conceptual framework, the figure shows the research paradigm. It shows the relationship between the independent and the dependent variables. The independent variables is the mathematical perception of students, while the dependent variable is the academic performance of the student in thermodynamics. To present the locale of the study, research design, and respondents of the study, here is Mr. Jesus C. Cabaltera.
For this chapter 3, the methodology, this part presents the method of research that is used by the respondents. This chapter describes the research design, comprising the population, instrument, data gathering procedure, as well as the data analysis. For the locale of the study, this study will be conducted at the 3 campuses of the Western Philippines University, namely Aborlan Main Campus, which is located in Barangay San Juan, Aborlan, Palawan, Puerto Princesa City Campus at Santa Monica, Puerto Princesa City, and Quezon Campus, which is located in Alfonso XIII, Quezon, Palawan. For the given map of the locale of the study, the legend presents the location of the 3 campuses that is based on the research population, wherein it is the campuses from the main Aborlan campus and Puerto Princesa campus together with Quezon campus. For the research design, this study will use a descriptive correlational research design. A descriptive research design will be used to describe the mathematical perception and thermodynamics performances of the respondents. And on the other hand, the correlational research design will be used to see the relationship that occurs between the two variables. And for the respondents of the study will be comprised of a population of third-year and fourth-year science major students that were currently enrolled at the second semester of the academic year 2021-2022 at Western Philippines University from the three campuses, including the Aborlan main campus, Puerto Princesa City campus, and Quezon campus. The table below shows the tally distribution of the respondents. We have third-year students from Aborlan main campus, which is 12, and 10 fourth-year students from Aborlan main campus. We have also 23 third-year students from Puerto Princesa City campus and 7 fourth-year students from Puerto Princesa City campus. And for Quezon campus, we have 27 third-year students and 12 fourth-year students. And to discuss the research instrument, data gathering procedure, and treatment of the data, I will be giving the floor to Mr. John Paul B. Asumbra.
For the instrumentation, the instrument that will be used in this study will be an adapted questionnaire developed by Tapia in March 2nd of 2002. This is the 21-item questionnaires aimed at measuring the mathematical perception of the students in terms of their confidence, the importance or values, and enjoyment and motivation in learning mathematics. According to Mensa and Company of 2013, perception are concerned with an individual's way of thinking, acting, and behaving, and claims that it is difficult to measure. For this reason, the researchers decided to use a questionnaire as the main instrument to be used and investigate if the perception toward mathematics has a great impact on their academic performance in thermodynamics. The questionnaire has 21 listed items with a scale that respondents need to answer. The set of responses on the questionnaire that will be used is the Likert scale type, with responses ranging from strongly disagree to strongly agree in the Appendix D in our paper. The Likert scale is said to be easy to use, the most common when measuring the perception, according to Estrada and Company of 2011. This questionnaire will be categorized learners as a positive or negative perception. Moreover, the academic performance of the students in thermodynamics will be based on their grades and the subject during the school year 2018 and 2019 and 2019 to 2022, and the data will be gathered from the university registrar. For data gathering procedure, for the accomplishment of the study, the following procedure will be used. First, a letter of permission to the college dean will be secured for the approval of the conduct of the study and for the consent of the dissemination of the research questionnaire and respondents. Second, once permitted by the college dean, a letter of permission to the Western Philippines Registrar Office will be secured for the utilizations of the students' grades in thermodynamics for the academic year 2018 to 2019 and 2019 to 2020. And number 3, since face-to-face classes are not yet implemented to university, the researchers will disseminate the Google form containing the informed consent and the questionnaire to the respondents. And number 4, the filled-up questionnaires will be gathered and collected for further data analysis by the researchers to get the findings of the study. For the treatment of data, all the data collected will be gathered together to analyze using statistical solving. The appropriate tools will be used as follow for a statistical analysis. To answer the statement of problem number 1, which says, what is the academic performance of the students in thermodynamics? Descriptive statistics such as mean and standard deviation will be utilized. To answer the statement number 2, which says, what are the mathematical perception of the respondents in terms of confidence in mathematics, importance or value of mathematics, and enjoyment motivation in mathematics? The same descriptive statistic will be used. And to answer the statement of number 3, which says that is there any significant relationship between the academic performance of the students in thermodynamics and their mathematical perception? Inferential statistics, specifically the first and R, will be used. That concludes our presentation. So now we are open for your question, suggestions, and clarification. So once again, good morning and thank you so much.